to Cash Flow Hacks. I'm the co-host, Stephanie, and with me is the host, Chris.
Hello, hello. I'm so excited to be here with all of our loyal listeners, you cash flow hackers, and everyone else that is ready to make more, save more, and start living more now.
Right. If you're interested in hacks to increase your cash flow, you are in the right place. Every couple of weeks, Chris and I will be discussing topics and tips and strategies just to keep you in the loop with different things that your financial advisor doesn't want you to know. And why are we doing this? Because the less you know, the more they make. Okay, so this podcast is a special one. We're going to be talking about your signature program, Chris, the Financial Freedom Formula. And I want you to tell me and the listeners, what made you design the FFF?
Because I wanted to flip the script on the financial industry. I know that there's so much out there that we don't know about. And there's a reason we don't know about it. Because the less you know, the more they make. And we want you to know more so they didn't make less.
That's true. But you had also kind of told me, and this is something that we had, kind of really connected on, was the wanting to, design something that wasn't already out in the market, right? There are a ton of other programs out there, but yours is different, right? Can you tell me a little bit on why you decided to do a done for you, done with you, or done do it yourself?
Oh, yes, absolutely. My clients are busy and they're like me. I was always trying to do the right things. However, I would take classes. I was always trying to learn. I love learning about this stuff. It's so interesting to me. And it was like a fire hydrant. I was getting so much information and not knowing what the next step was to take there. And I figured if my clients are like me, they don't have time to do all this. And they just need somebody to direct them to the right steps and let them help them understand why they are taking this next step. That's really the reason why I created it.
That's fantastic. I know you and I met in a coaches group, and it was something that we had both experienced. There was just so much information. There was a wealth of information. But you're like, well, one, I don't have the time to go through all of this information, process it, and put it into the things that are important for me and the things that I'm not ready for just yet. And then, just having that feeling of like, what am I supposed to be doing right now? There's like so much, and I could go anywhere in this portal and just start looking. And so it kind of felt like, what's the difference between this and just going to a library, right? But what you designed is step by step. It tells them, this is what's first, this is the information. This is what's second. This is the information, right? So tell me about your step-by-step. It's proprietary and you call it the GPS system. Tell me more about it.
The GPS stands for growth, protection, and savings. So the reason we start with G is because we want your money to start working for you immediately. Well, we get your whole system developed and we go through, because we have to look under the hood. We have to see everything that you're doing. We need to know what you're doing so that we can create that plan for you. But that takes time. But in the meantime, we don't want your money sitting there making no money. So we start with the G. And the reason we do this is because we call it the growth accelerator. And this is what is going to help our clients, or has helped our clients, be able to create financial freedom. The whole goal is to create financial freedom within 3 to 7 years. Because if you're doing it the traditional way, the traditional route, we're supposed to work for 40 plus years, putting away money into our retirement plan. And hopefully we'll have enough at the end when we're, trying to follow the 4% rule. And then at that, our money, our principal's coming down. That's only supposed to last us for like 25, 30 years. And we don't, the truth of the matter is, we do not have to work 40 plus years to make that happen, because when you know what they don't want us to know, we can make it happen within 3 to 7 years. So who wants the 3 to 7 year plan or the 40 plus year plan? Most of my clients are looking for something. And the thing is, it's not even about retiring. It's about working because we want to, not because we have to. Because a lot of us, we still work. We want to work. We want to be useful to society. We don't want to just not work. So now we work because we want to, not because we have to. And that's what we want for our clients also.
Beautifully said. I think that is so important, the work because you want to, not because you have to. And yes, because we have these conversations where, we talk about retirement, but we're using it in a different way. We're not talking about retirement as in the 67 years old or, whatever. We're not talking about full retirement age according to the, Social Security or anything like that. What we're talking about is having the ability to not work or, having that income still coming in, whether or not we're going to work. We are no longer trading time for money, right?
Right.
Great. Good point. Okay. So that's why we start with G, right? So we have our goal in mind. We're working towards the growth. The next thing that we do, because it's not just about growing our wealth, right? We got to protect it. So you have this beautiful analogy when you talk about protection. Can you share that with our listeners?
Absolutely. So the way I speak to my clients about this is most of my clients know how to make money. Most of them make a lot of money, but they're not protected. They know that they've always tried to do all the right things, but being busy, they don't have time to do the research to find out what all the right things are. So it's kind of like a castle. They usually build a moat and then a wall, right? Before they even build the castle. If you think about, in the old days when castles were being built, they had to protect themselves. They had to make sure that they were protected so that everything that was in the castle or inside of that moat wasn't taken away from them. And that's the same with our finances. We need to have like a wall around us, because when we don't have a wall around us, this protective wall, we're open to lawsuits, devastation. Remember, I'm always talking about the 5
enemies of wealth.
Enemies of wealth. So we have to protect our clients against these 5 enemies of wealth. And so that's why protection we got to do that. That's the first thing we're doing. The growth is the first thing, but we're getting you set up so that we can not only grow your money and keep it working for you. We want to help you keep more of your money, more of the money that you're making. We want you to make more of it. And the whole reason for doing this is so that you can live more today. And, none of us are promised tomorrow. So we want to make sure that you can actually start enjoying life right now.
Awesome. And so you brought up the 5 enemies of wealth. Chris, can you tell our listeners what those 5 enemies are?
Taxation, inflation, litigation, market fluctuation, and devastation.
Awesome. So when we're doing the protection step, what we're really talking about is having something set up for our clients that while they're building that wealth, they're able to protect themselves, right? So we're talking about things like insurances, right? So, there's the life insurance, umbrella insurance, different types of insurances, estate planning, which we've been talking about so much in this podcast lately, right? So that's all what we're kind of, doing. We're protecting you as you're building your wealth. And then finally, we have the S in the GPS, which is the savings. And we're having them come in and save what? What can people expect to save in this step?
So yeah, we set up an SYA. That's in the protection part. An SYA, if you don't know, stands for Save Your Ass, or some people call that Save Your Assets. We also set up an opportunity account, which is my favorite actually, because this is the opportunity account is what changed my world. And I want people to have this same opportunity, because sometimes, like example, 2008, what happened with the housing market, and who were the people buying up the homes? The people that had their money ready in their opportunity account. So it's not about just having money when, for bad things, but it's also about, having things available for when the good things happen.
Right. Because we're growing money, not to just be able to live with like in the growth stage, but also to have, I know there have been many times that I've heard about a great opportunity, but I just didn't have the money at the time to take advantage of it. So we want to be able to make sure that you're not just going on the day to day, right? But that you're growing and you're creating wealth and legacy.
Right. My favorite part, well, I think this was actually one of the hardest parts of our program, was this tax saving strategies, because we went through several CPAs. We went through, and they're so busy. And so, I don't know, we were just, it's hard to find a good CPA CPA out there that is available when you need them. And so while doing that, I went to a specific CPA that was for tax, tax strategist. And after I gave them all my tax information, all my paperwork, they came back to me and told me that they were going to charge me, well, they would give me the tax plan. They weren't even going to do it for me. They were going to give me the tax plan. And the tax plan was going to be $20,000. It was a plan that I could take to my CPA and have my CPA implement it. So I looked more into that and discovered their program, and we pay a lot of money for it per month, but it's going to save our clients thousands of dollars. And since it's one of our biggest expenses, we want to help our clients do that. And I didn't mention this in the beginning, but this whole program is designed to be like an investment. Investments make us money. They're not an expense. Once you spend it, it's gone. Our whole goal is to make you back your money. And that's why we put your money to work for you immediately, so that you can make back your money. And then everything else is like cherry on the top.
It is cherry on the top. That's true, Chris, but it's such an important cherry, right? So, it's a done for you process. We're going to keep you doing all of the steps. Even when you're so excited about the returns, we're still going to be like, hey, protection's important. Hey, right? People get so excited about the wins in the beginning, and we're like, we've got more. I absolutely love the legal loopholes that you found for everyone who goes through FFF. Yeah, that software is great. And there's a huge difference between having like $100,000 and then you pay your taxes on it, and then maybe you take home 70 and then taking home 100,000 tax free, right? So how we set up to protect you from, taxes eating away at your wealth, whether it's in the estate plan portion, whether it's in the growth portion or the savings portion, it's really a phenomenal difference. So with that being said, let's go into a little bit of specifics. Can you tell me about some of the clients? What are some of the transformations that you've seen so far with the FFF system?
Sure, I can give you a few examples. Actually, these are some of the clients that you also have been involved with. But the first one, it's funny, when they came to, actually, they wanted to be able to pay cash when they started working with us. And so they actually waited about a year. And finally, they decided to jump in. And the really cool part about it is when we went through everything with them and created the complete GPS plan for them, we were able to show them how exactly they could do this and make this happen this next year. So now, there is no stress. It's like people just don't understand, especially when they're so used to the traditional way of planning. Another client that we were working with, when they first came to us, the woman, she said, I want to be able to retire my husband, but I don't know if we have enough. I don't think we have enough. And so we looked under the hood. We went through everything. First of all, we made them all their money back within 90 days. Actually, it was within the first 6 months, they were able to make all their money back. And she is exciting because her husband actually wasn't sure if he wanted to work with me because I wasn't traditional, and his whole family, he wanted his wife to her advisor, or his advisor, the advisor that the whole family had been using for years. And she told him, and I love it, she told him, you know what, you can use that advisor, but I'm going to work with Chris. And so that's basically what happened. He kept his money there. She worked with me, and now he is all. He's so now, once I went through everything, it's like, man, you can actually retire today if you want. If you are ready to go in and quit your job tomorrow, you can. So now he's at that place where he works because he wants to, not because he has to. And he says, so basically I'm just one bad day away from retirement. He says, because I like what I do. He says, but it has been stressful, and there's been a lot of changes at work, and he's ready to retire. He loves to bike. He loves the outdoors. He's a golfer. And anyways, that's another one that I'm pretty excited about. And these clients are, this is the reason I do what I do. It is so cool to see that stress that people have. have it be lifted off of them. I love it. And let's see. And oh, the other thing is we were talking about the taxes. We've been working on several clients' tax plans because we believe it's not about reacting, but being proactive, like helping them create a plan, like this $20,000 plan that they were going to give me. This has been really useful and helpful for us because it's helped me be able to create an even better tax plan for myself and save myself thousands of dollars. So the other thing is tax-free retirement. We have several younger clients and we've been able to help them set up a tax-free retirement. That is really exciting because when you look at your retirement number and you see all the money you have in your retirement account, you have to remember that that's not all your money. You have a partner in your retirement, the government. And so that's exciting for the tax-free retirement.
Well, that's fantastic. That is such transformation. I mean, being able to really see, visualize, and have confirmation that you're on the right path and it is not that 45-year path, right?
Just a few days ago, I had not a client. I had a person, somebody referred them to me and they came to me. I was told by my assistant, this person, she needs some help with estate planning, but she's really concerned about the cost of the estate plan. And I said, okay, I'll talk to her. So I got on the phone with her and she told me it wasn't just the estate plan she needed help with. She needed help with all her finances. She was working a job now. She should be retired right now. But she's working a job that, like working at a front desk, she makes very minimal amount of money, but she's concerned about not having enough for retirement. And the thing is, when she started talking to me and I started asking her some of her numbers, some of the things that she has plenty to be able to retire today. Once we got her into our strategies, got her protected, she never would have to be stressed out about money again. And you know what the sad part is? She is stuck in the whole traditional way of thinking. And it's really hard for people to go the opposite direction of what they've been taught their whole entire life. Not everybody's like that, but those kind of people, it makes me so sad because it's like she's stressed out about money right now. And there is no reason that she should be stressed out about money. And the reason why, and then she told me how much she needs to live a month. I mean, and she is, I don't know. It's just, that's another reason why I started this is because I realized, the less we know, the more they make. I realized that as long as we stay on that path and the traditional path, we are going to have to work 40 plus years because most people don't have $1 million. And a lot of time, I know you and I have talked about this before, that $1 million, you never told people that, but for a long time, that is what a lot of people heard. If you want to have a decent retirement, you need to at least have $1 million in your account. And you know why that $1 million was? Because they said $40,000 is about the average of what people make in the United States. And that would be a great amount to be able to live off of through retirement. And that, I mean, who has $1 million? I mean, not a lot of people have $1 million in retirement, Stephanie. And I just wanted her to know, I mean, she had over $500,000 and it was like, you do not need to be stressing about money, because in her mind, she was thinking, if I don't have at least $1 million in there, I need to at least make $40,000 a year. And the traditional way of thinking, she's not going to be able to retire until she's like 90. And that's sad for me. And it's sad that she wasn't really willing to listen any other way. And that's why all of our stuff that we do is non-traditional, and it works awesome when you're willing to go against the grain.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Chris. So that was a lot of information, but I think, it's a really good outline of what people can expect and kind of like what your expectations were. I think that last story was a little bit about your expectations, what people need to be like to work with you. But we're out of time now. So as always, I learned a lot. You answer a lot of my questions, but I believe that we might have a lot of questions coming in after this episode. And always know we want to hear from you. So what did you wish you knew more about? From what Chris answered, do you want to hear in more detail? If you leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and ask in the review or send Facebook page a message, we will respond. We will come back on another episode and answer your questions.
Well, that wraps us up for this week. Thanks for tuning in. Why don't you join our Facebook group if you haven't already? It's called Cash Flow Hacks. And follow our Facebook pages, CQ Consulting and Chris Quintana. Our YouTube channel, it's called Financially Sassy Woman. And our Instagram page, LinkedIn and Twitter. Subscribe, give us a like, thumbs up. Remember, sharing is caring. And who do you know that needs this information? Thank you so much for listening. And next week, our next episode, we're going to be sharing with you about a self-directed IRA. And not just a typical self-directed IRA. This is one that I found, and I know you're going to love it. If you're ready to flip that script, we'll see you on the next episode. Peace out.
Bye. Bye.